Hello and welcome to this week's Comic Roast. I'm your host, Scott. You can find me on Twitter at XOrsoNext, and I'm here with Mike. You can find on Twitter at Review and Roast. You can find our Facebook at facebook.com/Review and Roast. And what else do we have?
Stuff.
Instagram.com/Review and Roast, and Instagram.com/Star Wars Tabletop. There haven't been a lot of posts on there lately, but you'll find out why soon. But I actually am almost done with my Legion miniatures.
I am not yet, but I will be.
You'll probably be done before me, and I only have like pants left.
Pants. The transmitter circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Let's see. So, as promised, today we are bringing you sort of sounding echoey in my face podcast, but we're going to finish out the final four of the individual series for the Hunt for Wolverine, and the next week we'll have the final conclusion. So, without any further ado, weapon lost, number 4. Weapon found? Logan was turned into a weapon long ago, controlled, experimented on, but ultimately lost. Now, Daredevil and his crew learn what happens if someone else takes up that weapon. So this is the group with Daredevil and Misty Knight and Frank Castle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Frank Castle.
Frank McGee.
Frank McGee and Cypher. And, they went out to, like, the Canadian wilderness, and they were attacked by, like, a cyborg Logan or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in the previous issues, they were following up on a lead in Chicago. So something that they found in the wilderness kind of made them feel like they should circle back to Chicago. So at the end of the third issue, they end up back in Chicago, and boom, the whole apartment explodes when they walk in the door. So that's where we're picking up now. And Misty Knight pulls out her go-go gadget arm tricks quite a bit in this episode.
Yeah, she goes a little bananas with the arm moves.
Now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not 100% I don't know that much about Misty Knight's arm and its capabilities, but I believe we saw the shield in previous issues. Mm-hmm. But the go-go gadget arm where it extended out,
yeah, that was
a little, that was new. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I mean, I guess you can't really.
Well, it's in the comics, so yeah, it's a thing.
Case in point.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
It's not in the show, but it's in the books.
Not yet. That could
yeah,
be
I don't think they're
upgraded.
going to go so bananas in the show, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, they go through and figure out. Frank McGee again mentioned, I believe, in a previous issue that he has like basically picture capabilities with his eyes. So he, took a little picture right before the apartment exploded to kind of examine the crime scene a little bit more. Gets a logo off the guy, and it's Sotera. Am I saying
Sotera, I guess.
Sotera. That is the same militia group from Claws of a Killer that's doing all the experiments.
Right,
in
and
that town.
as we do all these four today, we'll just cut to the chase. Obviously, this is all going to pick up in the new Hunt for Wolverine Dead Ends. So, obviously, this is all for nothing. So, all these issues basically are leading up to, fuck,
Wait a
what's
minute.
happening?
Isn't there one more issue to bring it all to the end, or
No,
is
that's it. Dead Ends is going to be the next, is what's next. So, I mean, the title in itself kind of leads you to believe where we're at right now. So,
So basically, this book ends with the name Sotera or Sotera or whatever you want to call it in everyone's mouth. And as we continue the next 3 books in this little grouping, that's where everybody's going to lead off. So spoilers for the rest of this podcast. Yep. Sotera. That's where it's all pointing when this is over.
Well, at the end of this one, because it literally takes between Cypher and the two detectives on the well, I guess all 3 of them are detectives, but it takes them all about 2 minutes to figure out what Sotera is. So they go to the headquarters, I guess you could say, which are located right there in wherever the hell they're at right now. I believe Chicago still. and they basically bust in when they're having a shredding party. Well, that was cool back in the 80s, but now basically just hit and delete on your computer.
Right.
But Cypher tries to save as much of the info as they can so they can go through it and get anything they can. And do we want to say what they found?
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, this thing's been out for a month.
It's been a minute.
If you're, So basically, what they found is Logan was approached by this paramilitary group, basically to be a mercenary, and that's where it's left off with them. Everyone kind of goes their separate ways, and Daredevil's moving on to contact Kitty Pryde.
Right.
So
So basically, for lack of a better way to put it,
Shit's all tying together right now.
Yes.
as you thought it would, it's just leaving you with another cliffhanger so we can all run out and buy dead ends. So.
All right, so the previous weapon loss, let's see, we have 8 and 8, 2, 5 for the first one, 8 and 8, 5 for the second one, 8, 5 and 8 for the third.
Really?
Yeah. I'm actually going to drop it a little
I
bit
am.
on this one. I'm going to go probably 7.5 for this one.
I'll agree with that number.
I mean, I like that it's starting to tie everything together.
You know what? No. Put me down for a 7.
Okay.
Because, after everything is said and done, a little underwhelming in the end. I mean,
Yeah.
the detective shit was all fun and good in the beginning, but then as it, I don't know, there was just
More action than the previous
I
comics.
didn't get paid off.
I thought I was gonna.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought there was going to be a...
$20 bill inside the book.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of action and stuff and some things happening, but for the most part, it was like, meh.
Yeah.
I feel like they were just like, all right, let's get to the next dead ends.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's petering out just so they can bring it all together in the one final. Who knows? But yeah, they were. Plus, I was like, I must have read it like a few weeks ago, like when we recorded the last one, because when I was reading, I'm like, did I totally remember this? And not to say that ruined it, but it kind of, I remember this now, so it kind of took the jam out of my donut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing wrong with it, just not as
Action packed, I guess.
not as interesting for me at least. So moving on.
So, moving on. The next one on the list is Hunt for Wolverine Adamantium Agenda, number 4. What dark secret lies beneath the surface? The trail of Logan's body has led the new Avengers to a completely different mystery, one that will cast a long, dark shadow over the X-Men. So this is the one with Spider-Man and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Man, where they were searching and they came across.
Don't forget about Wolverine.
Well, yes, in the flashbacks, Wolverine.
No. The all-new Wolverine.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
Some would say, and that some being me,
The better Wolverine.
but whatever.
Yes, and the better new Wolverine, his daughter. I don't know her exact name off the top of my head,
Yes, you do.
but what was I going to say?
Moving on.
I don't remember what I was going to say now. Captain Cutsy Offsy.
Mr. Sinister?
Yeah, I was looking for that name, so I'm glad you said it. This is the one where they're going.
Who I actually don't know much about either. Which apparently he's kind of a badass. But, anyways.
He does. He seems like a badass, and he does follow like the true evil genius or evil scientist because he, because he's the one that was collecting the DNA of everybody on the planet, right?
Right.
So this team comes across his database, and they're like, "Oh my God, we got to destroy this!" And even Dr. Sinister, after a little scuffle goes by, and he's trying to plead to Tony Stark, like, "Look, man, you're a scientist. Whether
you know how awesome this
right,
is.
whether good, bad, or indifferent how you feel about what I've done, you can't deny that this is an amazing resource, and if you do this is scientific terrorism." And Tony Stark's like, I think he's got a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But he also has 2 separate databases. He has one for regular people, and then the more secure one he has is just
All the
for
mutants.
the mutants. Now, skipping, well, I guess I won't skip.
You already just did.
I mean, I did, but I
You
was
just talked about the last 3 pages of the book.
I did. I know. Well, because the first thing I wanted to mention about this book was my favorite part is at the very end. You find out that the whole time Iron Fist's been babysitting for Jessica
yeah,
Jones,
right.
and
Yeah,
they're
it
like,
was-
"Oh, you guys were doing hero stuff without me."
That wasn't my favorite part at the end, but yeah.
That was the best. No, but yep.
Yeah, actually, for me, this book is probably obviously it's the last one in the series, but this issue is probably my favorite so far. Because I don't know, this one actually pays you off, in my opinion. Like there was some big stuff. There's big stuff with Laura at the very end, and which is like huge. All the shit going on. The flashbacks finally sort of paid off a little bit, I guess. Maybe not as much as I wanted them to, but you really got. They finally told you like what Stark and Logan were talking about way back in the day, and that Logan then had a talk with the rest of the, we'll call them the Avengers, but the Avengers in this book at least, and kind of explains what was going down and what actually took place. So in that respect, it actually really was pretty good. And they answered, this book actually, of all the books, answers the most questions at least, and answers some questions you didn't even know you had. So I don't know, this one so far is probably my favorite one.
You know what? I mean, not to be, sitting on the coattails here, but as far as the 4 books go, this one is the absolute one that got better every time.
This is definitely what's the word you're looking for?
I'm not trying to say most improved.
Yeah, what's the word when like the like not rookie of the year, but like there's
MVP?
No, like the one that's the biggest comeback. You know what I mean? Because this one started off like, man, this should be awesome, but it's like, meh. You know what I mean? And then it ended up being really, really good. So
yeah,
it's the only one that did that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was always fun from the beginning, but it progressively just got better every time.
Way better literally every episode. Or every issue.
And
got
personally,
better.
as far as the 4 books go, it's definitely the strongest finish.
Yeah, and what was our rankings? What was our review points on this?
Number 1, 6 and 6.
Yeah, see.
Number 2, both 7.5s.
Yeah.
Number 3, both 8s.
Yeah, and I'm going 8.5 or even a 9 because I'm actually.
Well, I'll give it.
I think I'm giving. No, you know what I am. I'm going to give it a 9, but let me asterisk it and say 9 for the series as a tied-in complete package. So the book itself maybe only an 8.5, 8, but now that it's made the whole 4-issue series for me really good. Because if you sat down and read this from front to back, the 4 issues, I think I would have rated it a 9. If I had to read all 4, just fresh, sitting at a table, read all 4 of them, I'd be like, you know what, that was awesome.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, because by the time you get to the middle bits, the end bits, now you know you already know. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was like you said, working its way up. I dig it. So I'm gonna give it a 9, but that's total package as well. So that's where I'm at.
I'll stick with the 9, but that's going to be for the series and for the book. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was never a bad series to begin with.
And now it's making me
But the
wanna
first
know
2
about Mr.
issues,
Sinister.
I think if the first 2 issues were combined into one, that might have made the beginning of this story a little more interesting because it was just like 2 issues of them on a submarine trying to bid on DNA.
Yeah, like what's up?
The other funny part of this one was when they were doing the flashback and Spider-Man's like, "Oh my God, you're still healing. That's
Can't look
gross."
me in the eye.
Yeah.
No, and then he's like, "Oh, then you don't want to look that way because I think one of my eyes popped out over there."
And then you see these like jumping in the background. It's comical. It's heartwarming. It's just really, really
There's some good stuff.
solid book.
Yeah, and especially if you're a fan of like the Netflix stuff, you get all your Netflix guys in this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool.
Right.
Even with the little surprise appearance from Danny Rand was nifty.
That was actually another one of the best parts when they were like talking about, hey, don't mind the mess. Just make yourself at home, and if you want to fold some of that laundry, and then you see the Wolverine folding laundry.
Laura's like folding laundry. When she gets the bomb dropped on her, she's like, "Oh, you don't have to. Don't worry about folding."
Yeah, right.
Hold this baby though; it makes everyone feel good.
That was funny. Yeah. So there you go. I don't want to say. I hate using the word improved because it wasn't bad.
And that's what I think. I'm trying to think.
It had that slow build, and it paid off perfectly.
One of the 3 people listening to this right now are probably like, "Yeah, it's this, you idiots." Because there's a thing for that. It's like, and maybe it is most improved player of the year or something like that. You know what I mean? But like, there's something like that. But then that's what it is. It's the one that came along the most. So let's leave it there.
Yeah, it's still early. It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Claws of a Killer.
Been up since 7.
Coming at you.
Anywho, yes. Next on the list, Hunt for Wolverine, Claws of a Killer, number 4. Will time run out? The clock is ticking as Sabretooth, Daken, and Deathstrike slice their way through the leagues of undead in search of Logan. They won't all make it out alive. So this is the one where they showed up in that town right after Sotiera went in and basically blew the whole thing up and turned everyone into supposed zombies. Now, they never actually said that they turned people into zombies, did they? It was more... was it?
Yeah, it was just...
Was it a zombie thing, or was it just a massive mind control thing?
It was just implied that they're probably zombie-ish. Like, they're doing zombie stuff, obviously, and they're, I guess, undead-ish to a degree. Maybe not. So, And this number 4 issue of all the books, probably of all time, I'm having the hardest time, like, trying to decide if I like it or not. You know what I mean? Like, I do, I don't know how I feel. So it's kind of super weird. There's definitely parts in this book that I actually really did like. There's parts in this book where I'm like, just fucking end. You know what I mean? Like, let's just Soterra next. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know how I feel still right now. Other than the fact that I also don't know much on the lore of everybody's family members that they keep seeing that are alive that they thought were dead. I don't know much of information on that, like as far as Sabretooth's like kid or Deathstrike's dad, blah, 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 blah. And the fact that he was undead and still carried adamantium was weird. So
But he was also speaking. You know what I mean? Zombies don't talk.
Is his sword made of adamantium? Is that it?
Well, here's the part that this is one of the reasons that this book in particular really kind of stood out because, like I said, is it a zombie thing where they killed these people and brought them back to life, or is it just a massive mind control thing? Because that sounds more like the evil government than a zombie thing. Plus, and
I think it's a little of both, though. I think it's like
because some guys were just and trying to fucking kill people, but other people were legit giving orders and not remembering the people from their past.
Right. I think that's what it is a little bit of both. I think it's I don't want to say a biological attack of some sort, but I think it is. I think they're trying to control and unleash something like that they can use and exploit to bolster the ranks or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it has to be something like that because when they entered this town, their powers pretty much went away. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or did they go away every time each one of them was bitten and contracted the virus?
Never
or
thought about
bitten
that
or
one.
scratched or what have you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're gonna find out. This book ends.
Better find out.
Yeah,
because it's actually getting interesting now. 'Cause
Yeah.
this book has been the weakest, no doubt.
Oh,
ever
for
since.
sure, and that's why I said I don't know if they tied it in enough for me. I still, like I said, I'm semi-indifferent because I'm not sure if I'm like, oh, okay, I like it, or like, jeez, you know what I mean? Like, more of this shit. Because, again, it's a lot of, as we were talking about these books, we all planned on, or, well, both of us, we all, planned on them all ending very strong and questions answered, this, that, and the other thing, just to find out that Marvel sticks it in your butt by saying, oh, guess what? By our next series, Wolverine Dead Ends, where obviously the title tells you we still ain't telling you dick. So I don't know how I feel about it right now. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, this thing, it didn't answer all the questions. It did answer enough of it for me to definitely give this one the most improved. That's the key here, because the other one wasn't improved because it was already good to begin with. This one...
Yeah, Weapon Lost started strong, finished weak. This one started weak, finished better, not as strong as Adamantium Agenda, but strong. So where are we at on this one?
I'm still kind of thinking because...
Well, I'm saying where were we at?
Oh, pair of 6s on the first one, 6 and 6.5 on the second. But then last week you went back down to a 6, but I was up at 7.5. I really liked issue 3 for some reason. I don't remember what it was. That's when the fights all broke out, and then her father and
Can't
his
remember
kid.
what we talked about, but there was a specific reason why I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
And that's why right now I'm
It got more interesting to me when the people from their past who they thought were dead started showing up.
I actually like the last 2 pages of this book, but everything leading to it was literally filler. I think I creamed through this book in 4 minutes because there's not a ton of dialogue in it.
The last 2
by
pages.
comparison to some of these.
All right,
others.
let's just talk about the last 2 because Sabretooth smashed that bomb and it blew up. How did they not die?
Well, because it wasn't that kind of a bomb, I guess.
It was leveled the whole town, though.
No, it didn't level it.
They found Dakin under the rubble.
Yeah, but he already was.
Oh, was he?
Because they thought he was already
Dead.
Oh.
Remember, if you recall,
There had to be something in the third
Sabretooth
issue.
and Strike were talking right before.
Right, and she
They did that.
she
They said something
"Where's
like, "Oh,
Dakin?"
he's
He
dead.
said, "Yeah, he's dead." Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. I just don't remember him being in the rubble. I don't remember what the hell happened.
Yeah, we can go back, but I don't think we care. But basically, what's his name's deal was Sabretooth basically said, "I'm going to hit this big green ball of light because I'd rather die as a pile of dust than go out like a zombie bitch." So,
Right. I kind of like him
and that was
a lot
cool.
now.
No, he was actually, and that's why I said that. I guess you know what? Now that I'm flipping through it here, it was more than the last 2 pages. So I feel like now that we're hashing it out a smidge, I kind of dig it a little bit more. Because the whole, as much as I'm not a big fan of whatever's going on with Deathstrike and her dad, the fight ended pretty awesomely. It was pretty dope.
Yeah. Which makes you believe that there is nothing left of the previous him in there.
Yeah, but who knows?
Exactly.
I mean,
Who knows?
yeah.
And I'd like to see them flesh it out, but it's almost too late.
Yeah. Well, and then Dakin was buried under some rubble, and then he ends up captured, which obviously is tying into the whole we're going to Sotera and everybody's going to figure shit out.
Although, would that explain Wolverine's being a mercenary for Sotera now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because these guys don't remember their past. Maybe Wolverine doesn't either because he's under the influence of whatever this biological shit
Yeah.
they developed is.
Yeah.
But he still has his powers.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is all just
It's too much for your
mind-boggling,
little- too much for my little brain to comprehend.
right? There's too many questions.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm up.
You're
a
going to
little
give it a
bit.
7. You know what? And I gave the last one 7.5.
I feel like you're going 8.
I don't want to go 7.5 because I feel like it was still better than the last one.
Yeah, I think
But I don't want to
I
go
did like
8.
this more than the last one, but I didn't. I don't know. I feel like I might be just. I feel like now at this point I'm just a hater.
I'll just go weird and go 7.75.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it's a lot.
That way, because it's still because of how, and I don't want to say how because it was so terrible in the beginning, but it kind of was a little super slow in the beginning. But yeah, I mean it came up. It definitely came up. So let's move on to Mystery in Madripoor, number 4. One of the X-Men is changed forever. Past and present clash in final battle on an island of secrets and sin. What darkness lies within Sapphire Sticks? Can a ghost from the past save Psylocke from oblivion? And that's where the synopsis ends. I feel like that was building up to something and it didn't finish.
Yeah. Well, it's super weird because a big chunk of this issue is all about Psylocke and the whole soul thing, which I got it to a point, but I feel like the whole thing, they weren't quite clear enough going into that whole, because I think the last issue we probably rated it a little lower.
Yep.
Because there was a lot of what the F is going on here. This one, they try to explain it, but they don't really, they should have led with explaining what the hell is going on. It would have made more sense than trying to tell you after we gave you all this baloney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just super weird. I mean, once I read this book, I was like, oh, okay, that made the last one make sense, but that's, you gotta wait a fucking month for shit.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be like, oh, that was stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Again, picking this up in trade form, got ya. All right, you move right to the next thing. But now at this point, you're like, what happened with the thing and the ghost and the fucking stuff? You know what I mean? And then, apparently Psylocke is much more all-powerful than I gave her credit for. So, I mean, maybe I just don't know shit about Psylocke. But
Well, I'll go right on the record right now, and I don't know very much about most of these characters.
yeah, I mean, most of them I actually do. I mean, I know.
I mean, obviously the big ones, Storm, Rogue, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I know, like, Snake Whip obviously just has a Snake Whip.
Yeah, but I mean, I knew of Psylocke, knew who she was, saw her in some stuff, but I never really, like, closely followed her.
Right.
I mean, she was portrayed by my favorite actress in X-Men, but whatevs. So,
Here
that's the thing.
is, all right.
But she wasn't all-powerful in that one either. She was, like, super not as psychically charged in the film, which I know the movies are movies, blah, 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 I know.
Well, the thing with the movies is they probably were like, oh, we get a taste of her in this one, but the next one, but then you know how movies go, they never make the next one.
Yeah.
But here's my big couple of things with this book. First off,
Not enough cleavage on the cover?
yeah, right. This book started out the absolute strongest and turned out to be one of the weakest finishes, personally, because of the whole Psylocke and who was the one that the Sapphire Sticks or whatever. Plus, like you mentioned last week, one of the biggest problems for me in this book, and maybe I'm stupid, but most of these heroes, villains, whatever, are drawn incredibly similar.
Yes.
And they don't tell you who is who. You're just supposed to look and go, oh, that's green, so that's this person. Oh, that's a lighter green, that's this person. Oh, you have blue hair and you have green hair. I mean, the same exact
And they're
face
all
and
making
body.
arc face. Arr.
Yeah, so it's so hard to tell for me because I am super unfamiliar with these characters. Like, they did a great job in the first issue with explaining who everybody is,
Yeah.
but when the
But then-
action's going
yeah,
and they're
then
all
once-
fighting
once-
each other,
once you get, like,
you don't know what's going on.
Once you get blurred by the images looking very similar, and you're trying to like buzz through panels, you're like, you have to like literally flip back to see what color jacket she was wearing
Yeah.
to know if she was Viper or fucking Psylocke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jesus.
Yeah,
It
that was
shouldn't
the
look-
biggest problem.
you know,
I think they tried to, and no offense,
Thank God,
but,
Kitty's got short hair.
and Domino's got the ring around the eye.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the only. Yeah, I
But
mean,
there was even times in issue 3 where I thought it was Domino, but it wasn't
right? Yeah, because they both have
because there were
black eye.
shadows on the eye. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah, that's still for me. I mean, the story got a little better once we figure out what the F is going on. The whole Psylocke manifesting herself molecule by molecule was a little like
Weird.
Is that a thing she can do? So apparently it is.
well, just like Go Gadget Arms for
yeah, but
Misty
that's
Knight.
a little more like all right. That's not like a crazy, incredible ability that like we.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? And maybe she's done things of that caliber coolness before, but that was pretty intense. Basically manifesting yourself a new body.
Yeah,
because you
like
felt
Dr.
it.
Manhattan. You know what I
And
mean?
what happened to the old one?
Yeah.
Do we just can I have it? I mean,
Ew.
whatever. Still warm. Anywho, moving on. So yeah, I mean, I like how it. I like the storyline. The art's still driving me bananas, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, really, the last page was utterly stupid. The one in Vietnamese.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it to a point of I don't get it. And I think the point is you're not supposed to get it because it's supposed to make you go buy the next book, but it was super
Just not
vague
necessary.
and uneventful and had nothing to do with nothing. They could have started the next book.
Yeah, like the
next
simple
series
fact
with
that in Weapon Lost #4, at the end of it, Daredevil's like, I'm going to call Kitty Pryde. We're all going to meet up.
Right.
He basically said, I'm calling this dude from Mystery and Madripoor, and we're going to meet with the leaders of every of the 4 groups.
Right.
So you know they're getting together already.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you needed to have that phone call in this book, but, like, you didn't have to go totally off the wall
And
with
then,
it.
not to be a dickhead, but
Since we're being dickheads, let's keep
you
going.
know, there's a bunch of dudes in the last page, 4 panels. These dudes are all like speaking Vietnamese to each other. There's a little asterisk translated from Vietnamese.
Yep.
Psylocke shows up, and she starts speaking Japanese to him.
Yeah, it's
The
not
fuck?
the same.
That's not unless it really. So if somebody knows if Vietnamese and Japanese are close enough that you can just say words and people will get it, you know what I mean? But if that was the case, like Portuguese and Spanish, you would just say Spanish,
Right.
or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Or even Italian
they
and
sound
Spanish
similar
are
to
pretty
like
close.
dum dums like us. Yeah, I mean, I know actually Italian and Spanish do have words that very similarly.
But that doesn't mean if
pronounced.
I walk in,
But there wouldn't be
some
two
Mexican
languages
restaurant
if it
down the
was.
street and
Yeah,
start speaking
that's not-
Italian,
yeah,
they're
that's
not
how,
going to know what I'm
it
saying.
works. So,
I'm not going to go order pasta in Spanish, and they're going to be like, oh,
so that part was kind of silly.
marinara.
So yeah. But the point is, the book wasn't bad. It just wasn't the hotness.
No,
So
it was.
and the art is still
Annoying.
increasingly annoying. So hopefully, I know you guys worked hard on the art, but I'm hoping you guys aren't drawing the people for the next one. So there's that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd rather the people doing Adamantium Agenda. Actually, all three of the other ones, the drawing is well, the coloring is less than desirable on Claws of a Killer, and sometimes in Weapon Lost, but normally it sort of fits the bill. So
I love
give
the.
it that.
I think the Weapon Lost is my favorite, just because it's got the whole noir storyline. It's
Yeah.
got the noir look. It's just it all ties together really well. Mysteries in Madripoor, again, it could just be my ignorance because I'm not that familiar with these characters, but maybe someone who's more familiar with these people, maybe makes more sense to you. But
I mean, I'm semi-familiar with most of them, but again, it's hard to tell when
Yeah.
you have 10 to 12 female leads of a comic and you draw all their fucking faces the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Come
hard.
on, guys. I mean, I know it sucks and you're under the gun and you got a lot of pressure to get comics out on a timely basis, but shit.
Yeah, you're not drawing Batman.
You're going to have to work some 10-hour days.
You
I
know
don't know
what
what to tell you. And if it was all 12 different masks, you know what I mean? I guess that'd be easier,
Right.
or if some of them were masked heroes, that might be a little easier, but, you got to take a little time. I'm not an artist, but oh well. So anyways, where
Not
were
with
we at
that
on this one?
attitude. Which one was this? Midstreet. Okay, so in the beginning, like I said, we both gave strong starts, 8.85. The second one, I only went to 7.5. You went down to 6.5.
Hey.
So you really hated the second one.
Fuck 'em.
The last one, we were both down to 6.5. This one, I don't feel like I can go much better than that.
I think I'm keeping it right at the 6.5. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. 6.5 is still a good number. I mean, it's still a good story.
No, it's
just
good.
the arts
It's
drive
just-
me
yeah.
nuts. Like
That's
if I
where the
was-
points
if-
are lost.
Yeah, if I was rating this thing just on straight comic artistry, it would be low, like a fucking 4. So
Ouch.
I don't even know if I go that high.
Well, anywho, so there you have all of the number 4s for Hunt for Wolverine. Next week we will have the conclusion, theoretically.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a conclusion so much as it is a new
a new
series.
beginning. Yeah. I mean, we're going to do it regardless, and then we'll decide from there if we're going to keep going with that or
Yeah,
move
we'll do
on.
the number 1 next week, and then we'll see if we want to continue or just do like a monthly, like what's happening.
And it
I
sucks
don't know if
because
it's
like I
bi-weekly.
kind of want to continue, but I also kind of want to give you guys something new out there.
Yeah.
We
Well,
do
we
have.
gotta go now because there's enough heroes involved and there's enough characters involved. There's a little bit for everybody. I think
Yeah.
once this thing gets started, it's gonna be, all these groups that were independently searching are going to obviously. Soterra is drawing them all in. So
Yeah, you're going to want to get closer to the microphone when you talk sometimes.
whatever.
If you've noticed, it probably might sound a little different. We were moving locations, so this is going to be our new permanent setup. If it is echoey, it won't be so bad in the future, but now we're back on track, so we can give you updates on this. We're going to start
so here
a whole
and
new
Review
series.
Roast is going to be back up. All the social medias will be back up. We'll be adding new social media stuff that we'll talk about very, 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 very soon.
Yes, within the next week or two. So keep
Yeah.
your eyes and ears peeled, and
Do stuff.
yeah, we've got some more podcast ideas in the works, and now that we're at our new location, that's going to be a viable option as far as we're going to start.
And the hint being, there's going to be a lot more board game stuff,
Oh yeah,
if anybody cares. About
yeah,
that.
we'll be back
Actually,
on
there'll
the.
be a lot more comic stuff too. I mean, there's going to be a lot more content in a general way of speaking. So
Pretty much, yeah,
all the way across the board, it's going to be awesome.
yeah. Stay tuned. Same bad time, same Review and Roast channel. Ugh. Comic Roast channel. Meh. All right, so as always, you can find me on Twitter at XOrSnacks. You can find Mike at Review and Roast. Don't forget to check out the Facebook, facebook.com/Review and Roast, because that's where probably most of the updates will be seen by most people until we grow the new accounts. So until then, I got nothing snappy. God damn. Yeah, I was trying and I failed, so have a good week.